We're back again at Matsuricon 2009. I'm here with one of my favorite guests to talk to, Tristan MacAvery. How you doing today?
I'm pretty good for an old fella. How are you doing?
Good, good. Been enjoying the convention so far?
Oh heavens, yes. Yeah, I was at the first Matsuri. This is the fourth, and I've been all four now. And the first Matsuricon, I have to give them a little credit for a first-year con. Everything went on time. Cosplay started on time.
What?
I'm serious. It's like something happened. We were in this other motel that was desperately trying to remodel itself, and they went all out and had overtime crews trying to get everything put together so they would have it mostly completed by the time we got there. And it was terrific. Staff couldn't have been nicer. The hotel staff couldn't have been nicer. And the con just click, click, click. Everything was on time. It was astonishing.
When cosplay's on time, does the world stop spinning for a moment?
I'm not entirely sure because I was so awestruck that I didn't quite notice. I did think I felt the earth move, but I wasn't entirely sure, actually. It was an awesome experience, however. So Matsuri has that record in my heart, and it's my intention that as long as they'll keep putting up with me, I want to be here for all of them.
Okay. It's been a while since we last spoke. What has been new with you?
Not to, get everybody to have the hankies come out. Last year when we left the con, Jibin and I were homeless, basically. We went and a friend gave us an attic to stay in for a while, so we really had to get on our feet. So enough about economic recovery. Thank you. We're doing much better now, and it's kind of interesting because when you're in survival mode, you don't get a whole lot of creative stuff going on, unfortunately. But I have had time to create an idea. Yes, I'm looking for an artist if I possibly can. I can't draw a straight line with a ruler, but I had this idea for a furry webcomic called Natural Habitat. And I've got this little booklet now. It's about 52 pages. I've got the descriptions of the characters, situation, and 88 at last count, panel-by-panel descriptions of strips. But anyway, if I can ever get something done with that, it'd be terrific. I'm probably going to get about 100 strips before much longer anyway. I'm just having great fun creating the characters and seeing what's going on. So if I find an artist I can work with, we will put out a webcomic and have some fun.
With you being at a convention, are you taking applications?
There are one or two people. I'd certainly like some advice because we've got some terrific people here for webcomic artists and so forth. They've got their own stuff going, so I really don't know that. I've already had a couple of people already say, well, we really can't draw the comic for you, but, we'll give you some tips and pointers, and that'll help because that will help me understand more what the artist is looking for so I can describe that. But in the meantime, at least it's a good creative project that's got lots of silly in it. I think it's fun. We'll see what happens.
Heading off the anime, you were, of course, the original voice of Gendo in Evangelion.
Yes, guilty as charged.
New Evangelion movies, good idea, or we already did this once?
I'm skeptical, just because I don't know what to do. For example, where would they go? They ended it once. Nobody liked the ending, so I can never pronounce the name correctly. Is it Hideki Anno? Is that correct?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay, or vice versa. Forgive me. Sorry. I'll apologize in advance. And the guy who created he's really cool. But they didn't like the ending, so he gave them a weirder ending. So goes the legend that, I'll show you what a weird ending looks like. And so where do you go from there? Now, I have heard of something that's online. It's called Eva R. I don't know too much about it, although the people who were involved in it asked me to do a couple of lines for them. And so I did a few lines for what looked to be a kind of like a trailer. Okay. Not sure how to look it up. You could probably Google Ava-R, I think would be my guess. If I knew, I would actually give you the URL. And actual storyline, I don't think so, because I don't know where the story would go from there. Now, if you're talking about a live-action movie of Evangelion, my impression was that the discussion was going to make it into a big, giant robo movie, which takes out everything that made Evangelion, let's say, unique.
Yeah, I was going to say unique.
That's the polite term. Evangelion's the kind of stuff that you look at and you get out the pizza and root beer and just go, talk about it for hours. And that's what makes it interesting. So you turn it into, a giant robot movie, and it's not. It would remind me of what happened from the original Rollerball to the new Rollerball. New Rollerball is utterly irrelevant. And 1975, James Caan and Maude Adams, if I remember, and John Beck, and John Houseman too as well, satire at its finest. I mean, it's excellent story, and you take that out of it, and it's like, why bother? Go film roller derby and be done with it.
So what you're saying is, if you're going to do something new with this, be careful.
That's the fairest thing to say. Just be careful with it. I would not like to see it ham-handed. It's possible to make good sequels. There have been several good sequels of things. I've seen those. I'm doubtful. I'm just dubious of doing something. I don't know what's going to happen. So since I haven't seen any, I know nothing of scripts or pictures or anything else, so have a nice day. I don't know. But so maybe it'll be a smash hit and I'll be forgotten forever. But it doesn't matter. I just be careful with it because that's unusual material. And I'd really hate to see it Baudelarized, for lack of a better word, just watered down or made less. That would be.
Yeah, that would be a shame.
I'm for it for a lot of reasons. A con is kind of its own world for a weekend, which is a lovely thing, but it doesn't have to shut out the rest of the world. And a con has a lot of energy, and seeing some of that energy actually put towards some a charitable goal of one kind or another is important. With the particular, I should say that the most visible, shall we say, charity, because there are several that are out there, but the cause against cancer, fight against cancer, kind of hits home a little bit also because Jaibian's stepfather died of renal cancer, and a particularly weird variety that was very fast instead of slow, which it usually is. Kind of a mixed blessing in a weird sort of way, but I like seeing people coming together for good causes of all kinds, and an environment as eclectic as an anime convention is. We're all here for the anime, we're all here for the fun, we're all here for the webcomics and the artists and so forth, and there's one more thing we can do together, and that's a very cool thing. I like that feeling.
So you really like the energy that gets poured into a charitable work like that, right?
I really do, because it's so easy to become cynical. I'm living in Rochester, New York right now. You know what they say about New York drivers? They don't mean just the city. I'm sorry, New York. I got to tell you.
Even upstate New York.
It's scary. There are some days when I look around and I remember a line from the film Zardoz, and he says, "An end to everything. We have plagued this pretty planet for far too long." And I'm thinking, yeah, let's just get rid of humans and start with some more advanced species like the cockroach. So when I actually find people getting together and saying, no, we're not going to play the despair card, we're not going to play the give up card, let's try to do something.
Yeah, let's all work together and do something.
Let's do something. I love that energy. And after the few weeks I've had at the office, Gewalt, yes, I need some of that energy. It's a good thing. So we're all getting together for that. And and there are other charities as well. For example, Dusty, who has type 1 diabetes and several members of his family. I've got type 2 diabetes. It's not a pretty picture, as you can see. I would love to find something, because I hate giving up my chocolate or whatever else, absolutely. But I would like to see more things happen, and it can be done. One plug for medical science is, when you plug money into it, it goes somewhere. It does something.
They actually use the money for research, and research is found. Yes.
It's exactly right. I recently finished reading Still Me by Christopher Reeve, and he talks about the spinal injuries and so forth, and the research being done in that. And I think he lived for like 8 years, I believe, after the accident. The book was out about, I want to say 4 or 5 years after. And just in that short time, he's describing these leaps that were being made and discoveries about what to do with spinal cord injuries, to the point that there is actually a possibility of literally regrowing the connections for a spinal cord injury if they're not. It's astonishing. And the book was, I think, 4 or 5 years ago, and it's just longer, in fact, early 2000s, I think, and it can be done. And that's the thing that I get a little tongue-tied, because I start turning into one of those wonderful bleeding heart liberals. I'm going, if only the world was as wonderful as I am, And that's not the direction. I'm sorry. Pedo Bear is just not being good here.
Stay put.
Don't ask your parents, kids. Just leave it alone. But it's just that feeling. And so I really love the idea of the energy of the con not being channeled directly into, but some of it is sort of like, yeah, we can do this, we can do that, we can rave, we can anime, we can help. All of that, because it's that...
Plenty of energy to go around.
There really is. Absolutely. Even without the Coke and the Pepsi and the caffeine, doesn't matter. No. It's all right. We're already wired. If I wake up in the morning, hi! So, yeah. But it's great. I really...
And for yourself, any current or upcoming projects you can talk about this time that you're working on for the rest of this year?
Oh, well, the natural habitat thing's kind of ongoing for fun, the webcomic, which is nice. I got tapped for a small role in an independent horror film.
Oh, you're talking about this at opening ceremonies.
Yes, yeah. It was. It's called Community Service. www.communityservicethemovie, all run together, .com. We'll find you. And I was describing it as sort of the Breakfast Club meets Friday the 13th, which that's pretty close. And I play a cop, and my partner is we're supposed to be opening up this abandoned, park, camping grounds, So these kids who, for one reason or another, have pulled community service for a weekend are supposed to go clean it up. Well, what I don't know about my partner is that when he was the school bully around elementary school, he and his friend managed to get one kid completely freaked out to the point that the kid took a rock and beat brains out of the other guy, basically, and then he was caught, and the kid was screaming epithets at who is now my partner. And the kid was then put into an asylum where he hasn't spoken in 30 years, and now because the park is whatever it's called here is being put together, being cleaned up, and it's our project, the photo's in the paper. So the kid, now grown up, has seen the photo, has broken out of the asylum, and is going to kill everybody.
The story continues from here.
The story continues from here. I get to have my throat slit. It hasn't happened yet. The irony of it was that scene was supposed to have been filmed on my birthday. And that would have been terrific, but there's some little problems. We had some difficulties and so forth, and we lost a day of filming because, in fact, the guy playing my partner was sick for a day, rather seriously. Okay, fine. Everything's fine now. But it did stop the filming. So they've still got some scenes to film with me, and I still have yet to do the kind of, I'm trying to rehearse that line. I'm not sure if it's, or, and like, okay, what's my motivation? What's my, what? I just want to know. But it's a lot of fun, and there are some clips on. I don't know if there's any clips of me up on the website yet, but there are some clips of it. They're rough cuts. Don't judge too harshly. They're rough cuts. They're putting some things together, and there's also a blooper reel online, so that's fun too. But yeah, that's going on. And other than that, me and Jai have been getting back on our feet, which is a good thing. I'll come up with something new, something interesting, and I will mention that my book, Divine Intervention, I'm trying to make into a screenplay. So we'll see if that's going to work or not. I have a few people who might be interested. I'm not naming names. I don't have a deal set up. Sweetheart, talk to me.
This is the early stages of works, right?
Yeah, this is the part where it's like, okay, let's see. Open up the document and let's see if I can make a screenplay. And we'll see. I don't know, because I have tried to push the book to a few places, but I'm told the screenplay is actually, book is the lowest, treatment is next, actual screenplay gets the most attention because it seems to be ready. So I don't know. Wish me luck.
We will.
Okay, thank you.
Well, Tristan, it's always a pleasure to talk with you. Thanks for stopping by and chatting with us.
Hey, thanks for the venue. I'm always having fun. I love to play to the camera. It's a good thing. Hi. Hello out there.
Thanks again.